Are you absolutely crushing it as a software developer, but feel like you're not getting paid enough? Listen, I've totally been there. You could just be working for a company that doesn't have enough capital to afford some of the technologies that exist out there today, but you can't let that hold you back. The fact is, if you're not making at least six figures as a software developer, something needs to change because you easily can be. In this video, we're going to be going over the top 5 things that you need to learn as a software developer to be making at least $100,000 in 2023. Now, before I get to these, I just want you to understand that I'm speaking about this from personal experience. I had no clue that these technologies existed before I changed my job. And once I learned about them, my mind was just absolutely blown away. There were so many places where I could have taken these and applied them and just had such a better development experience. And it would have definitely made my job a lot easier. So the goal of this video is to at least just share some of these technologies with you today. If you don't know them, that's absolutely great. Go out there and start learning them because they're going to make a huge, huge impact on the way that you develop today. Now, depending on your situation, you're either going to need to learn these technologies outside of work, or you could possibly leverage your company into adopting some of them. And then this way, you're going to get that real world experience with them. And that's the best way for you to learn these technologies. Absolutely. And then who knows, maybe your boss is just so impressed with what you're suggesting that they give you a monster raise and a promotion, and we all could use that, let's be honest. Now, without further ado, let's get started with the video. All right, now number 1 has to be Git. Now, Git is a version control system that allows developers to keep track of the changes made to their code. With Git, multiple developers can collaborate on the same projects, revert to previous versions of the code, and even maintain a history of all of their changes. This makes it an essential tool for software development. Before I knew about Git, I couldn't tell you how many different processes I've worked with to collaborate with other developers without stepping on their toes. No more maintaining copies and backups of production code. Git does this all in one simple system. Now, keep in mind that Git is a version control system where you can manage your code locally, but there are also things called source code repositories which leverage Git, but store your code remotely. An example of this that you've probably heard of is GitHub. Each source code repository has its different offerings where they can be easily integrated with your IDE or software that you use to code. Now, Git is just so important to understand when you're working as a developer because, listen, it's going to be used everywhere. If you're looking for a new developer job, Git is going to be a requirement. So you better get this under your tool belt. Understanding Git will make your coding life just so much easier, and it's going to make you just such a better and more valuable asset to any team. All right, now this is a big one. Next up is CI/CD, or continuous integration and continuous deployment. CI/CD is a software development practice that involves automatically building, testing, and deploying code changes. All right, now think of the last time you had to deploy your code from the dev environment to the production environment and all the friggin' issues you ran into. Did you remember to install those libraries in the higher environment before you deployed your code? Whoops-a-daisy. Did you remember to update those important variables that were specific for the production environment? Whoops, I'm still pointed to dev. Crap. CI/CD takes care of all of these questions because they're all addressed up front. Picture this. Your manager comes up to you and asks you to make an update to your web application to headline that Daniel Jones of the New York Giants is the next GOAT. He wants you to include some paragraphs on him and to pull some stats from an API to display it on the page. Now, in my old world, I would conduct some of these changes probably on my local computer first, write down everything that I did. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. Then I would copy these files into the development environment, which sort of resembled the production. and replicated some of these necessary steps. Then I would probably perform a bunch of tests in the development environment, and then at some point coordinate to perform all these steps over again in production and just pray that everything would go smoothly. With CI/CD, you would still conduct development in your local environment, but after that's done, all you need to do is just push your changes into the code repository like GitHub that we described before. And then right from there, CI/CD is going to handle the rest. It's going to perform the build and just package all of your code. It's going to perform all of the testing of that new code against whatever test cases you came up with before. And then it's going to automatically deploy your code into whichever environment you're looking to work with through the use of pipelines. Now, CI/CD is just obviously critical to understand when you're working as a developer, because what it's going to really do is just ensure that your code is of high quality and is super reliable every single time you make a change. By automating the build, test, and deployment processes, developers can easily catch any errors up front and make sure that every single time they do their deployment of their code, it's deployment ready. This is obviously going to lead to you being able to speed up the development process and be able to deploy new features to customers a whole lot quicker. By understanding CI/CD and implementing it into your development process, you're going to be able to deliver high quality and reliable code, making you a valuable asset to any team. All right, now number 3 is cloud computing. Now, cloud computing is a technology that allows users to access and manage computing resources over the internet. With cloud computing, developers can easily scale their resources up or down as needed and only pay for whatever they're going to wind up using. This provides a lot of flexibility and cost savings compared to maintaining and scaling on-premises infrastructure. Now, before I started my new job, I've heard of Azure and AWS before, but I had no clue what they were or what cloud computing even was. Luckily, at the time that I got hired for my new job, they were starting to perform a migration to an all-cloud solution within Azure. From there, I just started to learn all the benefits that come to switching to a cloud infrastructure. Things like cost saving, scalability, accessibility, security, and just a whole load more. Now, as a quick example, my company had this on-prem solution for an ETL process that took just super long to complete because we were querying against databases with millions and millions of records. Because of this, we actually had to incorporate some sort of like staggered schedule in order to process the clients at different times to deliver the data in a timely fashion. However, once we finally moved to the cloud, we were able to leverage technologies like data lake storage and Azure Databricks to be able to drastically reduce processing times and to deliver the data lightning quick. Now, this is just one example, but the main point that I want to drill into your head is that cloud computing is super important to understand. It's being used everywhere now. It's becoming increasingly popular. Many companies are moving all of their infrastructure and applications to the cloud because of all of the benefits that come along with it: scalability, cost savings, innovation, security. It is the thing to understand and the thing to utilize when you're working with tech. By understanding cloud computing, you're going to be able to better design, develop, deploy your applications on the cloud infrastructure, and thus making you a much better and valuable asset to any team. Number 4 is Big D, Docker. Docker is a platform that allows developers to package and deploy applications in things called containers. Now, containers are lightweight, portable, and self-sufficient, which makes them an ideal way to deploy and run applications in different environments. With Docker, developers can build, test, and deploy their applications in a consistent and reliable way. When I first started out with Python programming, I learned the hard way that transporting my code to different environments was going to be a task within itself. I would run into version incompatibilities, operating system issues, missing libraries, and a whole lot more. With Docker, you sort of have your own mini computer with its own operating system that you can control exactly how that computer is built based on the needs for your specific application. With Docker, you're essentially removing the environmental complexities. For example, if your app is deployed in dev, it works fine because your computer environment has those necessary packages. However, in prod, these libraries have yet to be installed and now your app's going to fail. With Docker, you're instructing that the container will already have these libraries installed, making it super easy to transport to other environments. All you need is Docker to just be installed on each environment and you are ready to go. Obviously, Docker is becoming more increasingly popular and widely adopted in the industry because it's so easy to be able to transport your code using Docker. Thus, it's going to make you a much better developer, and it's just another important technology to understand to get you better job opportunities and to enhance your skills as a developer. And last but not least, we have Linux. Linux is a free and open source operating system that is based on the Unix operating system. It is widely used in servers, personal computers, and mobile devices, and it's known for its stability, security, and flexibility. Linux is also popular in the developer community because it provides a wide range of tools and utilities that are useful for software development. Now, although Windows will always be installed on my main computer, it has become increasingly aware to me that the Linux operating system is a must-know for developers. While Windows still has its advantages, I feel as though applications should always be installed on a Linux operating system. Linux is designed to use system resources efficiently and is able to run well on older and less powerful hardware, making it considered a lightweight operating system. Additionally, when it comes to portability, Linux is the preferred operating system to run Docker that we just spoke about. In fact, Docker was initially designed to run on Linux, and many of its features and tools are optimized for Linux. So it's a no doubt in my mind that it's best to use that operating system. Now, Linux is an important tool to understand when working as a developer because, again, it's widely used in the industry, especially for web development, cloud computing, system administration, and many companies are using Linux servers to host their application and services. And as a result, many job opportunities are going to open up for developers with Linux skills. Thank you so much for watching my video. Hopefully you liked it. Maybe you're going to walk away learning a new technology that you didn't know before. But if there's one thing that I want to just bury in your guys' minds before you leave here today, it's that you need to understand that you're never going to be able to stop learning when it comes to tech. Technology constantly advances, and there's always something new to learn. So if there's one thing you need to learn here today, is that you're going to have to keep on learning, and you can do that by continuing to like and subscribe. Tommy Tech. Let's go, baby!